Alright, this is for a Hughes DSL install that has failed. So I'm going to walk you through what it would look like. Just a few things to make sure that you're filling out the paperwork first and foremost. On the upper left hand corner here is your service order number, which is also listed right here. Your name will go right here. You'll put the time that you got to the site. You'll put the provider. You'll also put this particular tech ID, which is the 2910396. And you can use the space on the sheet to make notes. When I got to the site today, I notified the manager on duty that I'm a Hughes technician, and I will be installing their new Hughes router. In this particular situation, this is what the router looks like once it's completed. But the one that we brought to the site today, it's still in its box, as you can see on the floor there. We also brought an InnoBand modem. It's a DSL modem. The reason why this site failed is because, as you can see, this flashing light is an indicator that no DSL service. I plugged it into a jack, which was already in place. The jack was labeled DSL, as you can see on this jack. The reason why I took it off was to verify that it was terminated correctly. I wanted to make sure that it was terminated to the 4-5 position. And then I also just visually traced it back to, it's kind of blurry, but traced it back to this circuit here, which was labeled DSL. And also to test it and make sure that it was terminated correctly, I put my alligator clips for my butt set, and on the other end of the butt set I just plugged in my modem. I just took this line out and plugged in the RJ11 side of my butt set in, and the light was still flashing. At that point in time, I contacted TAG. TAG is our technical support arm of Hughes Network, and I instructed them that I'm not able to get sync, and I asked them to verify with Verizon, because again, on your work order here, it will actually let you know it'll give you a clue of who your provider is. Plus, there's certain things that you would look like. It will actually say your NAP source is Verizon. So I just, after reviewing the notes section, I asked TAG to contact Verizon to make sure that the circuit was up or it was provisioned. And when they contacted them, they were not able to verify that the circuit was up. As a matter of fact, what they did is they did a dispatch. So pretty much so I was on hold with them for about an hour while they coordinated with Verizon. Verizon is going to dispatch a technician today by 9 p.m. At that point in time, TAG issued a case number, and before they were able to give me the case number, I advised them to contact the DM, our district manager, and district manager had some additional questions for TAG. Sometimes the district manager will actually want to speak to you, the technician. You would let them know your name and your You'll give them the information from the work order itself. You know, they'll ask you to verify things like your service order number, your site ID information. They'll ask you to verify your tech ID. They'll ask you to verify the DSL number, the order number. This is all to make sure that we have the correct information. The other reason why this site has failed is this is the customer's DMARC we're in right now, and we do not have access to the main DMARC because this is in a mall. So the main DMARC, we don't have access to there, so we're not able to test at the main DMARC. So typically in a customer's DMARC, if it fails at the customer's DMARC, then we would notify the manager we need to get into the mall's DMARC. The manager will call mall management or security depending on the mall, and mall management may or may not give you permission to go into their DMARC. If you do have access to their DMARC, at the time that you're on the phone with Verizon and Tag, you want to ask them for the binding post information, which is just coordinates, because as you can see, this is a smaller version of what the larger DMARC would look like, and it's pretty hard to, without them telling you where it is, you'll be spending a lot of time on that. So as a technician, sometimes you will be required, and I'll put this back together, to go to the mall's DMARC, and worst case scenario gives you an opportunity to stretch your legs. You may have to use some of your other tools to assist getting the circuit up. But in this situation, we don't have access to the main DMARC. The site failed because we have no sync. We try to activate the service, still no sync. So what we're going to do today is leave all of the equipment on site, which includes a DSL. I did not unpack the router, but what I did do is, according to our documentation, is I did record all of the serial number. There's actually an adhesive that came with the router, and I just moved that over and I created my notes accordingly. As you can see on here. And they gave me a case number, and here's my case number right here. I wrote it on the front because it was just easier to write, and I'll just transfer this to the back, which is what I put right here. It's not case number, and we will notify the manager that whatever the status is, and we call our IVR to check out. So this is just an overview for how a site fails.